Good morning, class. Today we're going to be learning about team building once again. So this is Team Building 102. So grab a seat and get ready for notes because it's time for a lesson. Just a quick reminder, if you want a better grade in class, subscribe to the channel. You can, if you want to see what I do a few days in advance, you guys can check me out on twitch.tv / Super Science Sensei. Twitter is also posted to the side. I hope to see you guys there. Okay, now with that out of the way, today we are definitely going to be learning about team building. Those of you guys that have been paying attention, there's been a team that's been running around inside Great League this last season, and it's a team that the reason why it worked really well for me personally because I was able to hit at rank 10 on two separate accounts. A good friend of mine, Jay Robin Stacks, was able to hit number 2 on the GBL leaderboards with this team as well. And is it because these Pokemon are just inherently broken, or is it because the way the team functions as well allows it to succeed well? And one thing I want you guys to know is that from a lot of team builders and a lot of YouTube content Pokemon creators, they are able to make teams that seem to work, but when you look at it, it might not always show up to be the best. And then later, when you actually try it out and test it out, you'll realize that building a team a specific manner sometimes fosters to success. You can even build your own teams if you want and be successful if you figure out how to build it. A common build idea and build theme is something known as an ABB line. Now, if you guys don't know what my line was, and the line that my friend used, and a line that some of my other friends that I helped get to 10 also used, is the Azumarill, Obama Snow, and Alolan Marowak line. Now, we have Azumarill, which is considered to be quote unquote A. We have Obama Snow, which I'll show you how it's a B, and Alola Marowak, which is a B. Now, the way an A-B-B line works is that you have one Mon at the front that kind of deals with, that is weak to certain things, and then the two things in the back kind of just deal with what they're weak to. Okay, so a really good example of this is a line that was commonly used inside season 1, was popularized by Caleb Pang, an amazing battler and also a streamer as well. He used what was known as the Skarmory double grass line. It had Skarmory, Shiftry, and Meganium. You notice that you have Skarmory in front, which deals with the threats that can kill the two Bs here. And then later the grass can deal with the things that can kill Skarmory, right? So things that could kill Skarmory were things that are like rock types that could hit the flying. And basically, Zoomerl, which could beat Skarmory. There's all these different mons that could beat Skarmory. And what would happen is you have two things that could beat the counter to Skarmory, and Skarmory crushes the main counters to the guys in the back, right? So that's how the ABB line works. The reason why it works well is because let's say they have an answer to grass types, so they kill you the first grass type, which initially was Shiftry, and then later you finish it off with Skarmory, they kill off your Skarmory, and then later in the back you have a second grass, which was Meganium, and because they finished using their grass counter is already dead, Meganium gets to roll over their entire team, right? Now, that is the main idea. It makes people unable to set up for situations. Now, a common team that people will make when they are, if you look at Caleb Ping's lines in general, a lot of his teams are ABB lines, right? If you guys look at the teams he makes, he has one thing in the front that can kind of protect the things in the back, and things in the back can protect the things in the front. It's really unbalanced, but allows to success. FP6 also had similar lines that helped him to get to rank 10 in the past, like his Swampert double steel line, where he has a Swampert in the front that can deal with the steals, but then later things that beat the steals, things that beat Swampert like grass types get beat by the steals, right? So it's like the same idea, A, B, B. The common line, if you guys use PvPoke, right, and you guys, uh, if you guys use PvPoke and you guys try to look for a low threat score line, a lot of you will end up building what's known as a, whoopsie, let me change the thing and let me erase that. Wait, freaking clear. Let's see, undo, 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 undo. You guys will make something known as an ABC line. Now, an ABC line is cool because it's very, very balanced. ABC line is really cool because it gives you the ability to deal with almost everything, and you get really, really nice looking threat scores at the bottom where it's really, really low. Now, the issue with ABC lines, though, is that matchups sometimes feel like rock, paper, scissors. When you have an A, B, C line, right? If they kill one part of your rock, paper, scissors, now you literally can't deal with anything else, or you can't match up with anything else, and so you'll automatically lose the match. A lot of teams that people play inside like Masters Premier or certain other lands, they end up with ABC lines where it's a ABC. If you get lined up incorrectly, you lose lead. They switch out to switch. They counter switch you. You lose switch, and then you lose the game because there's nothing for you to do in the game, right? These lines are nice because they are balanced, but if you have the wrong order against your opponent, you automatically lose. That's why ABC lines, though they look really good on PvPoke, and though they have really good threat scores, they actually don't always function the best because when you win hard, but when you lose hard. So how does how did the team that I use work well? Because it is a slight combination of an ABB line and an ABC line, right? It actually functions as both. You guys think of Azumarill, right? The A. In our case, we had an Azumarill inside this slot right here. When you guys look at Azumarill, what beats Azumarill? What things beat Azumarill? Things that beat Azumarill are grass types and electric types. So you guys have to think about what can beat the grass types and what can beat electric types. Types that beat grass are fire and ice. Things that beat electric, the most common electrics inside the meta were Galvantula and possibly Alolan Raichu. Alolan Raichu and Galvantula both lose to Alolan Marowak. And those two can lose to Obama Snow if they take any residual damage early because Obama Snow gets through the weather balls very, very quickly. So if you have Azumarill on the front, you have Obama Snow here, you have Alolan Marowak over here. Those are your two Bs. They both deal with Azumarill's threats, and Azumarill beats the things that threaten Alolan Marowak and Obama Snow. Obama Snow is really weak to fighting types. Azumarill's fairy. It beats those types. Alolan Marowak is weak as a ghost type is weak to dark. Azumarill is a fairy. Once again, beats the darks. With this type of line, it's an ABB, but the difference is it's an ABB that happens to also be an ABC. Alolan Marowak destroys Obama Snow. Obama Snow destroys Azumarill. Azumarill destroys Alolan Marowak. What makes this team work is that it has a rock, paper, scissor like component, which makes it more balanced, but that gives you the ability to come back from anything because you also have this type of ABB line where they don't have any threats. So this allows you, when you have a bad lead, to come back from it. But also, if you do line up against them, you can keep lining up against them and they lose. Because of the combination, the team becomes very strong. Now, are there answers to this team? Are there things that hard counter the team? Of course. But to a general set of the meta, that's how it works. You guys can see other variants of ABB lines being like Caleb Pang's original Skarmory, Shiftry, Meganium line. You think about Epistick's Swampert double steel line. You look at Though Technical's double ghost line, where it's a Azumarill, Sableye, and AWAC. And the whole idea is they lose their one counter to the ghost or the steels or the grass, and then later when they meet the second one, they lose. Okay? Now, the thing is, the reason why that team works is that it has a combination of both. That's the reason why when you guys are constructing a team, you guys can make your team very, very ABB or very ABC or a variant of both. It doesn't really matter. Some people play with one way or the other, but it really depends on the type of player you are. If you get tilted very easily and you hate like losing really hard and even though you win really hard, you're probably not going to enjoy the ABC lines because when you lose hard. When you win hard. You're probably going to be more likely and inclined to use something like an ABB line where you have chance to come back. And sometimes they do hard counter you. You're like, oh well, they had too many grass counters. We're not going to win. when you guys construct your team, you want to have a team that can deal is kind of like an ABB, but still can function like an ABC. If you have a combination of both, they do very strong. That leads to our next part. So those were the ABB. That was the variant. Now we're going to go to PvPoke and team building. Okay, I got to refresh this up for you guys once again, just to make sure you guys understand. If you guys look at the threat score inside PvPoke, right? The team that I used probably doesn't have the best threat score. And I could probably construct a very easy threat score that does better than whatever score that pops up, right? It's a 647. I've had scores where it goes down to 500 something, and there are teams out there that work really well. You guys see this team? It says 647. You think it's gonna be good? It should be any team that's higher than that. One team that actually does really well against this line is the Technicals line with a return save line. We throw that in. You put in the score, and this threat score is gonna be significantly higher. But this is still one of the strongest teams in the league just because of the ABB line. What I want to really make you guys know is that the threat score is not the be all end all of the team. What really matters when you guys are trying to construct a team is A, what type of format does it work? Can you come back from bad leads? If you ability to come back from that, you have to run something like an ABB or a BAB type of line. If you run an ABC line, the moment you lose lead, a lot of times you just straight lose the game. The other thing you guys want to look at when you guys are constructing a team that's really important are your potential threats. You see, whenever there's three things right here that you're losing to, these are things that can crush your team, right? Right here, ignore Bastiodon real quick because Bastiodon's common, but how often do you guys see Castform that's rainy? How often do you see Lickitung, Lantern? Shift Freeze, it might be like a little bit more common, but if you look at all these guys here, some of them are very uncommon in the meta. So if they're not common in the meta, that means this team could really work. Now, if there's a huge rise on, let's say, Rainy Cast Farm, Lickitung, and Lantern, this team might not be the best, and maybe you should shift your team up for the meta. The main thing is when you are constructing your team, you want to make sure you guys have a bit of balance, i.e., an ABC, but at the same time, the ability to come back, i.e., an ABB. When you do this, you focus on trying to make a team that has both. You can come back from lost situations while being able to hard crush people that you have a good lead with, right? And that's the reason why the Azumarill, Obama Snow, Alola Marowak line had so much success inside this season. Will it do well inside future seasons? Depends on how good counter moves, counter mons, and stuff like that get. Depends how the meta shifts. But the idea of constructing a team that can be both is what you want to be dealing with, right? That's the game core, and that's how you guys want to build. Okay, I know you guys have a lot of other places to go, a lot of classes to attend, and other things to do. So I hope to see you guys next time. See you guys in class.